I'm on.
You're on.
It's my turn. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Night Court. We're doing a little something different today.
Something different.
We're live. We're doing the show live today, and when we're live, you can interact with the program and ask us questions. This can be dangerous.
Our boy Kenny will let us know what you want to know.
Yeah. So if you want to interact with us, what do you have to do, Kenny? Comments or
Just comment, ask Brevin, ask Rob. Hashtag ask Brevin, ask Rob in the comments section.
There you go.
You'll do it.
Hashtag ask Brevin, ask Rob in the comments section, and you can and your questions will be answered here on the show because we're live here this morning.
Oof.
After Christmas.
This is something new.
Yeah, so it's awesome. Now, if you're listening to the podcast after the fact, we'll do this again, and we'll give people more notice because we just decided like 2 days ago, like on Christmas Day, we were like, hey, let's do it live. Yeah, okay, cool.
We just do this one together.
Yeah, so we'll give you more notice next time we do this, or if you're watching this after the fact, welcome. We appreciate you joining us here on Night Court. I'm Rob Fisher. He's Brevin Knight on Twitter at the Fish Nation at Brevin Knight 22. Christmas, how was it? Good.
Christmas was great, but listen, I was trying to tell people to come watch this. Yeah. I probably put it up wrong on social media.
I did too.
I know.
I did too, but I didn't change it. I was like, screw it.
I'm the same way
because the thing was, I copied the Twitter to put it on the threads. But then when you put it on the threads and you hit the link, it goes like to the front page of YouTube.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. So, I don't know how to tell people that I made a mistake in doing that.
Yeah. But, I'm getting texts about us being live.
Exactly. Yeah. So at least it's working.
Yeah. So it's working. So all right, if you got any comments, please do it. We're gonna just do the show regularly like we normally do. If you want to comment on what we're talking about, that's great. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask us,
that was great.
We might use them. We'll see what the question is. But yeah, that's how we're operating today.
Yep,
Christmas. How was Christmas?
Christmas was great. You know what you realize as your kids get older, and now our kids are 26, 23, and 20. It's just a joy that they all say they're going to come back.
Yeah.
You know, when you're little, you take it for granted. When they're little, they're there. And so that I think the Christmas present for me was that they all were able to come home. And so it was fun, man. The other good thing was I felt like everybody missed each other because there were no arguments.
You like each other,
yeah. Everybody's going good. Like this is maybe at one, one is good. But no, it was gifts were. I always say at this point. Gifts for me are secondary, except I got some good ones this year.
Yeah.
Like they got me some T-shirts with all of my little sayings that I say on the show.
Nice.
They got 3 different ones, mate. So that was
and you cool. Sent a picture, and it's amazing. I couldn't read what
so I'll have to explain. The other one says Replay Center is inside, and underneath it says who's blank having what.
That's fantastic. Those were great. I got some Jaw 2s.
Okay.
They're nice. They're really nice. And I got another pair of shoes for like my smoker shoes. I got another pair of shoes.
Oh.
So those will be debuting. Not debuting on this trip, but they'll be debuting soon. And so it was nice and got to see the family for a couple of days. I didn't get to get home to St. Louis for Thanksgiving, so it was good to get home for a couple of days here at Christmas, and
it's always good to get one.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was fun. It was fun to see the fam. All right, Grizz, ready for the Grizz? Ready to talk a little Grizz?
Yeah, let's talk a little Grizz.
All right, the Grizzlies took on Golden State, and my note for the Golden State win was whooped that trick.
Hey, we played it.
It was great,
and I think it was intentional it was for that team and that game.
Well, I sit next to the guy who makes that decision, and in about the third quarter, he looked at me and he said, "We need a pocket of fans to start chanting whoop that trick." And I was like, And I had some friends there, and I was like, "No, I'm not going to tell. I don't want them to act like fools."
Did you tell them that?
No, I didn't tell.
Oh man!
But And then he's like, "All right, it's coming up. It's coming up." So he gives me the heads up when it's happening. That was great.
When
We
it
played the song and beat the Golden State Warriors by 51 points.
Still, when they play that song, man, it just does something. If anyone hasn't been in the arena and heard that song when it starts and just what it does to everybody, I don't care what race, creed, age. It doesn't matter what across whatever spectrum we have that comes to the game. Everybody gets ready when that song comes on.
The old heads.
I say, that's the ones who it took them too much to get to sit down. They
whoop that trick. Whoop that
and then they
trick.
go back.
And then they get back down in the
Yeah.
that was fun though. That was just a beatdown, right from the get go. Just came in, locked in, and crushed them.
Well, you know, it's what we say it was the opposite a little bit of the Lakers game in terms of they went to play the Lakers game, really just didn't have it, but the Lakers also weren't on, so it kept the Grizzlies around.
Right.
It kept you being like, oh, you got a chance just if you do this, and they would do that, but they just couldn't get over the hump. You put it to that Golden State game, it was like Golden State didn't have it, but the Grizzlies didn't let them off the hook.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, to the tune of 27 threes that they made in that game.
Yeah.
And so it was just on top. It was just on kept going. Defense, and what I liked about it, and we talked about it, they didn't make a mockery of the Warriors in any way. They just played basketball, and it just kicked their ass in basketball.
2 years ago,
it would have been all type antics. I mean, there would have been all type dances showing. There was zero. It was just straight. It was just, and that was, I enjoyed it even more because it was done in that fashion.
Yeah. And then we went to it.
Everybody's going, wait, one guy decides whoop that trick? When's the last time they played it?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't play it last year
at all. It's been a couple seasons now. You may even go back 2 seasons that we haven't played it.
Yeah, it's been a while. There's a guy. I'm next to the whoop that trick guy.
But understand, he does do more than just whoop that trick guy. I just want you to know that. Yeah, he has. His title is bigger than just that. But he has a lot of influence.
That'd be a cool title, wouldn't it? That'd be look good on the business card. Whoop that trick guy.
I get paid good, but I go to the games and I say, no, what, tonight? Let's play it. It wasn't a night tonight. I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah, so that was awesome. What a night. And then we went to Atlanta, and my note here is beating up those beneath you.
Yes.
That was a win in and beat up on a team that you should beat up on.
Yeah, both teams without their star point guard. John Morant didn't play because of the fall that he had taken the night before. Trae Young was out, and so it was. But again, it just feels like, man, when he's out, this team's depth is so good, and we have our new Tyus Jones that when he doesn't play, and when Ja doesn't play, that Scottie Pippen Jr. steps right in and plays extremely well.
Right.
And he did it again in the Atlanta game. And so, and when I say that, they're 2 different players with Tyus and Scottie.
Mm-hmm.
Not the same. And Scottie is not at the level of what Tyus does to this point yet.
But a reliable.
Exactly. And that was what we didn't have when Tyus left. It was a struggle at trying to find who was going to be that guy to step into that role.
Right.
And he's done a terrific job of it.
So that was good. That was a good win for the Grizzlies. And then home against the Clippers. My note for that one is they took shit away that we do well.
Yes. And again, I think during that game we said this was the first game since the Houston game. We had another test of playing against physical, athletic, skilled basketball players.
Mm-hmm.
May not be household name guys and people want to talk, but people that knew how to do what they do best. And that's what they did. And a lot of it was before James Harden took over late in the 4th quarter. James Harden was just a free throw shooter pretty much until he had a quick burst in the end of the basketball game pretty much to put it away. And so, listen, Tyronn Lue was a guy that I enjoyed playing against, and he's been a guy that I've enjoyed watch coach.
Yeah.
And he does whatever he has in terms of super talent, not a lot of talent. He still just knows how to put things together and makes it work.
Yeah, I left that night thinking it was a fun basketball game. It was a good game, and the Clippers played well. And in the fourth quarter, at some point when it's nip and tuck, I start thinking about my walk-off interview if we win the game.
Yep.
And I think I was going to lead with something about winning in different ways, because that would have been a completely different way for the Grizzlies to win a basketball game.
No pace to the game, mostly
Yeah.
half-court basketball.
Didn't shoot well.
Exactly.
I mean, to pull that one, if they would have pulled that one out, that would have been a really nice win because of the fashion that you had to do it. And so I was entertained. I thought it was a good game because I thought the Clippers played really well, and I didn't think the Grizzlies played poorly. They just didn't execute very well. And you could say, well, they turned it over a bunch. Well, they do that every game. I mean,
the thing is,
that wasn't that different.
Right. It's those points. I think it was 31.
Yeah.
The Clippers scored
31
points off of 19 turnovers in that game.
Yeah.
And it was something that we talked about every game, but it's something it gets covered up because you do so well in all the other areas.
Yeah.
That you cover. Like, you're not going to be great in every facet of every game, but if you are great in the majority of them, then it makes up for the deficiency that you have. And their deficiency at this moment is that they're a high turnover team. The biggest thing you want to do is, can you just keep that to under 20?
Right.
Like, so if you're going to have the 17, let me think they're up around 17, 18 turnovers a game. If you're going to be up at that number, you just don't want to have the points off of them be something that's at
maybe
25.
1 for 1.
1 for 1, you live. But right now, they're at 25, 26.
As Santi Aldama called it, it's the pick sixes that kill us.
Yes, exactly. And right now, too many of them.
Yeah. Now, for the Grizzlies, if you're watching live tonight, we got the Toronto Raptors. And if you are watching live, by the way, you can comment on the program and just send questions, whatever you want to ask.
Matt Hubbard said, "What up, Rob? STL represent, baby."
STL in the house. That's right. What's up, Matt? You can comment or ask questions.
Represent. The Lou.
Grizzlies have Toronto tonight, a team that's got 7 wins. They've lost 8 in a row. They're not very good, to say the least. Got to take care of business tonight because then you embark on a 5-game road trip. A 5-game road trip that's not easy.
That is, it's going to be very tough. And I think that this game tonight is just, if they just go out and play solid basketball, they'll win.
No.
Toronto's just in the position that they're in.
Don't mess with the game tonight.
No, and the good thing is we haven't had to talk about those type games.
Yeah,
we haven't had to come in after a game and say, well, they let that one go, and this team is a team that they shouldn't lose to because they didn't. So hopefully, and it's on the heels of a loss that they didn't look like themselves.
Right.
And so usually what we have seen is when they haven't played well, the next game they come back and play well. And so this is like you said, against a struggling team. You know what Scotty Barnes is capable of doing. RJ Barrett is there and he plays hard. I think Pirtle is out tonight for them, and who is another one of those bigs, very similar to Zubac in terms of physical, rim runner, rebounder.
Right.
And the Grizzlies had problems with Zubac in that Clippers game, and so this should be one that they win. But and then after that, you got to strap up.
It's at New Orleans, at Oklahoma City, at Phoenix, at Sacramento, at Golden State. I'm not counting the New Orleans game as being easy.
No, strap up from the time we leave. We go get on the plane tonight, bro. Put your fatigues on, bro, because you about to go to war.
Yeah.
New Orleans. I think New Orleans will be a fun test, but it also will feel not so much like you're starting on the road because we always do well with fans there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think it won't be. It's not such a home court dominance for them that you don't have to start off in that atmosphere. After that, going to Oklahoma City, if you want to see a test of where you are,
That's a good one.
That is an excellent time, and a lot of it is looking in the mirror for this team.
Yep. Yep. And then we get to spend about a week in Phoenix, which is great.
A lot of golf.
A lot of golf for BK. A lot of sunshine for me. What else do I get to get with Phoenix? Just a nice, comfortable hotel as well.
Yeah,
That we
hotel.
stay at in Phoenix. So that's wonderful. And New Year's Eve in Phoenix. We got to figure out what we're going to do for New Year's Eve.
Yeah, the Miz is coming, so we got to figure out. We have to figure out something.
Yeah, we got to figure something out
after we win. If we don't win, I don't know what type mood I'll be in.
Yeah.
So Don wants to know, how do you guys think they're going to do on the road trip, and what do you like? What does it mean, like expectations for them, for the team moving forward off this road trip?
You always like to go 500. I think on the road, it's 5 games, so you'd like to go 3-2 if you can.
Yes.
If you go 2-3, I think you come home, you're like, okay, I think you can live with 2-3,
depending on how the the 3 losses went
and how you play. Yeah,
exactly.
No doubt.
I think it'll be like I said, it'll be a nice barometer. You always like to have these tests throughout the year as to kind of see where you are at that time.
Yeah.
And the Grizzlies have had a lot of Eastern Conference games, a lot of home games, and so to now not only have to play against all Western Conference teams, but also doing it on the road will be a nice test, and will give this team a nice view of what it's going to look like if you consider yourself to be a top 6 team in the Western Conference. Because Oklahoma City, you expect to be there. Phoenix, you expect to be there. Sacramento is they'll play and win 4 games in a row, and then they'll turn around and lose 4 games in a row. So right now, inconsistent. And then the Warriors, I think when we go to play the Warriors, they'll be on an extended homestand. And for them, this is that shit will get off the pot moment.
Yeah.
For them, in terms of, do they think they have enough to still be a title contender, or do you have to make some trades? Because you got Steph Curry, you got Draymond Green. Your thoughts can't be, well, let's see what happens next year.
Yeah.
Everything has to be for right now. So it'll be I think it's an interesting trip that will tell a lot about where this team, and then also how guys are going to respond. Like we have talked about how good this team's depth is, and that's why they're going to be that good. But it's still going to come down to, in fourth quarters or late games, how do they execute? So you're expecting to be in tighter games to be able to do it more. Because the other thing that they've had a bunch of blowouts.
A lot of them, yeah.
Or in games where you're holding on to double-digit leads. But how about those games where the lead's only 5, and it's just going back and forth? Maybe you lead by 5, they win by 5, and now we get down to. So I think this road trip will be very telling, and will give them a lot of video and feedback as to how they proceed for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Chris Anthony's asking, obviously we've seen Zach come back from injury, getting acclimated back into the game. How do you see his readjustment back into the game, and what does he need to work for? What does he need to work on going forward into the playoffs?
Oh, shucks. For me, the biggest thing, number one, is he just ran against probably one of the toughest big matchups. That's not a step and shoot threes or roll, just in terms of physicality.
Yeah.
A big bruiser. That he is. I think Zubac is at the top of that list right now. And so he got a chance this season for Zach is learning how to play with a team, but it's also just learning different centers and what they are and how they play in this game. And I think what he saw in Zubac was, I have to continue to work on my athleticism, because the only difference between the two of them was Zubac's more athletic than he is.
Yeah.
And so I think that his progression can still be, he influences the game. He still had double-digit rebounds in that basketball game. He still contests and changes shots when people come to the rim. But I think as we go forward, finishing quicker is a big thing. I always say getting a little bit lower on moves that he wants to make. Like even though you go into a crab dribble, you can't be as high as the defender that's guarding you. Like somehow you got to get a little bit lower so you have a little bit more
Leverage.
of to move you.
Yeah.
He doesn't. You stand up high, you're not moving. So now the jump hook is 2 feet further than you really want to shoot the jump hook.
Right.
And I say the best shot I thought he shot of the game was on the offensive rebound. It was late in the game, right before Jake LaRavia got the 2-hand dunk. He got the offensive rebound, kept it high, and he shot it right away. It didn't go in, but it was the best move and shot that he did the other time. And I think as you go along, maybe also extending a little bit on that little half hook that he shoots.
Yeah.
Because right now he's kind of right here with everything. It's kind of right here. So maybe you get to a point where he can get up here with this, so that the 7'4", now you become 7'10" to shoot that shot, 7'8" to shoot that shot, whatever. But no, I think it's gonna be an asset.
It is amazing to me that the Grizzlies start 2 rookies.
Yes.
I mean, going into the season, we knew we were going to start 1, the big fella. But to be starting 2 rookies and have the record that they have with the expectations, because the expectation wasn't that you were going to start 2 rookies.
Well, Shush, we thought we were going to start the 1, and then we went a long stretch where he wasn't even starting.
Right.
And then he get hurt and came back, then he was starting again. So, but no, he and Jalen Wells on the offensive end has slowed down somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of that is just he's still expending so much energy on the defensive side that it's but he's still there. Like if you need a basket or something, you need just a play to happen, he's still there to make a play. But his influence defensively has been massive here early.
Yeah.
It's not something. I mean, we talked about having Vince Williams, him being out. You're gonna need another defender. Where do you go? It's like, and then bang, he just drops into our lap in the second round pick. And so it's gonna be nice and kind of fun to see when Vince is healthy.
Yeah.
To have multiple guys who can be very good at wing defense.
Well, that question was asked. Astronomo asked, he said, talking about Jalen Wells, talking about Vince and Gigi when they come back, who do you expect to start at the 3? What do you think Jalen Wells' role will develop into when some of the more established players come back? What are your thoughts on that?
What do you think?
I'll say this. When Vince comes back, because obviously the question is, would Vince move into Jalen's spot, right? Vince is going to have to earn it.
Yes.
Because Jalen has earned that spot. And Taylor Jenkins has been that way since he's gotten here, of you'll get minutes when you earn the minutes.
Yes.
And Vince Williams is going to have to earn them.
The other thing Vince is going to have to do is not try to be outside of who Vince is.
Yeah.
I thought in those couple games when he came back, he was trying so hard to make things happen. And what he's going to do is come back and be that instigator on the defensive end, and on the offensive end, when he was playing with your regular guys, he shot the 3 very well. Now, last year he was forced into more of a ball handling, initiating the offense, doing all of that role. Where to me, I still think that should be something that's secondary or third. Like, and now that we have point guards that he can now just be a guy that moves well within the offense. When the ball moves, knock down shots, or then use that playmaking off of the ball swung, they're retreating, now make a move and make a play. I just think that he'll be a definite asset to the team, but he just has to be Vince Williams Jr. Don't think you have to do something above and beyond to say that I stand out more than the next guy. But it's going. I don't think he comes back and tells like, all right, well you're the starter. I think Jalen Wells is going to be a fixture in that starting lineup as long as he continues to play well and he's contributing.
Yeah.
Before you move on from the Grizzlies, there's a commenter here. Her name is Kayla Knight.
Uh-oh.
And she's asking, what's y'all's favorite Grizz moment from 2024? And she wants you guys to know, y'all rock.
Well, thank you, Kayla. I'm glad to know that.
Thanks for listening, Caleb.
Yeah, exactly.
And watching.
I can be a dual role dad. Favorite moment from 24.
Wow.
Well, it's got to be this year.
Well, I was
This
gonna say
this
maybe
season, I mean.
maybe when Marc Gasol's number was retired. That was kind of neat.
That was cool.
Um,
That was cool.
the basketball. There isn't much to remember from last year. Hell,
I'm going with those.
maybe the win in Boston.
I was going to go to the Ja Morant when we talked before the game, and then for him to go to the layup, come back to me and be like, "For real, I got you." When I told him that we had lost 10 in a row before the game, he went back through the layup line. He came back by me and was like, "For real, I got you, B."
Yeah, that was cool.
And then we go out and win that game. And so after losing 10 in a row in that building, and just always feeling like, well,
It's gonna be one of those nights.
hopefully not a lot of fouls.
Just hope no one else tears an Achilles.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's where that happened with Mario Chalmers.
We just want to leave with no injuries.
Yeah, it was bad.
One more Grizzlies question. I'm so sorry. Drew Gann wants to know. He says, "Hey BK, are we hoping too much from Gigi when he comes back?" He says, "I seem to be the only one who is pumping the brakes on his return, like his impact on his return."
Well, I think it all depends on who you're talking to in terms of his impact. I think the way that I envision him and coming back is that it just gives you another athlete size, scoring ability. Defensively, he's a guy who works hard at on that end and got better as the season went along. But I don't see him as having to be in some savior role. So just because of that, it makes he's just an asset to what the team already has going. It's not as though someone is saying when Gigi comes back, it's going his coming back now makes us this team.
Right.
I think what it says is when Gigi comes back, man, makes his team better. But it's not as though, well, he has to do X, Y, and Z. And so I think because of that, the expectation should just be that we get another guy that, because we play with this pace and because they play with the space, that we get more highlight plays than we're already getting.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't put any pressure or any onus on him being a guy that's supposed to now move us from a 6th team to a 4th team or a 4th team to a 2nd team.
Right.
No, nothing like that.
Yeah. All right. Remember the days when we thought, God, these 90 to 88 games suck. We need more scoring in the NBA.
Who are those people? You know that's not me.
That's the people.
Okay, got you. Yes.
And the people wanted more scoring.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're getting 140 to 135.
Mm-hmm.
And those same people now are saying that we shoot too many threes.
Mm-hmm.
The commissioner said we're discussing the situation of the three-point shot. LeBron came out and talked about how it's ridiculous, all the threes that are being shot.
Come on, bro.
What are we doing now?
Fish, you already know this is a bad talk to have with me, because I always say that there is a essence of basketball that will always be what basketball is. And then there are these tricks and all this other shit that goes on with basketball. And at the end of the day, if you can't be efficient offensively and you can't be efficient defensively, then you're going to struggle to win games. You're going to continue to be up and down. If there's nothing that makes you be able to adjust within games. I always say when I hear people say, and this is across the board, from little kids to the pros, that the answer is to shoot more threes.
Right.
Or next year, what does this guy take this guy to get better? Shoot threes. I'm like, bro, you are dumbing down the game. like that's it. And I say to myself, this team, this Grizzlies team, this is us. we came in with the same mentality that we're just going to fire from the 3-point line.
Mm-hmm.
That was the mentality. And then it was just like, well, do you want to win or do you want to try to prove some statistic to be right? That's what I started to ask. Do you want to win basketball games or are you just trying to prove a stat to be correct? And then all of a sudden, a lot of these teams start, because you start looking around, a lot more teams not just standing and firing from the 3-point line. It's a lot more, let's play with pace, move the ball, have space and do, because it's not everybody is good enough to just stand and shoot threes.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not trying to hear this from the league, from everybody. I'm not trying to hear, oh, well, let's change it because you made all of these rules to change, to be that there was no defense in the game pretty much. But what I kept trying to say was by allowing people to play defense, let you see how good and skilled people are on the offensive end. It forces you to also not allow every team to have to play one way. So why are you getting upset with and saying, well, they're shooting all these threes? The rules made you have to be that way. Because why am I going to have a real true center? Why am I going to have a physical 4? Why am I going to have those things if those players, and that's not a part of the game anymore? If everybody's just going to look the same, we start playing games, we look on the floor, you got all guards and forwards. That's how we start playing basketball. And everybody was doing it. So it was like, there was no variety to the game. Why were the Grizzlies good when we had the core 4? It wasn't, because they were so much different than any other team.
They had a niche.
But you allowed it to be that way. As soon as you started changing the rules and limited things, now you're just forcing everybody to be one way. So now you want to backtrack on it all, because at the end of the day, basketball is good because it's competitive. It's not how many points you score. It's, was it competitive? Was it not 800 fouls called? Were guys playing and you knew you got to play at this rate? That's what made basketball be good. And dudes that were good and skilled still scored 120 points. Because if you go back to what basketball in the 80s, and people were scoring 120, 100 without shooting threes.
Right.
Without shooting threes. So to me, I don't want to hear it now, because the league was as much of a problem with this being the way that it is today as anyone else. That and this newfound thing of how deep we go with the analytics and all of these stats and generate all this stuff, bro. At the end of the day, if you don't know basketball, you don't know basketball, because anybody could get up here and start making up some stats. And then do you know basketball? Why is this happening right now? And can you change it right now? Can you help it? Those are people. That's why I tell you why I enjoy watching Tyronn Lue and all of the places that he has been, is because it has been what's best for this team right now. And I think the Grizzlies did it with this team this year. It was like, all right, we got some guys that can do that, and we got a dynamic player. But is it best for us to just stand and watch him do that and just fire threes, or is it best for us to move everybody, be a part of it, and then now allow him and our other star guys to still be great off of that?
CBSSports.com did a list. You ready for a list?
You know I'm always ready for a list.
This is solutions to the 3-point boom in the NBA. All right, 12 solutions.
All right, tell me.
Eliminate the 3-point line altogether.
Of course, that's one. Not gonna happen.
Make dunks worth 3 points. That's interesting.
That's never thought of that one.
Move the 3-point line back.
Of course.
I don't think that matters if you watched Steph Curry last night. My God.
Steph, you watch these damn kids just throwing the ball from their hips. They shoot it from too far.
Cap the number of allowable threes.
Yeah, you can't.
I mean, you're changing the game at a 4-point line.
No, because they'll just be.
Then they're going to shoot 4s.
Then they'll be like, well,
analytics say.
So you should shoot 24s a game to go along with your 33s, and because that one more, now there's 2 more points than the other.
How about allow hand checking behind the arc?
On a shot, or just be able to just hand like back in the day defense. I want to be mean. If they mean that, then that's fine. See why I'm fine with hand checking is because like people think like hand checking means, oh, now you can't. Well, it doesn't mean that. really hand checking sometimes puts the defense at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you start to get leaning or trying to force, and as soon as I can reverse or use it against you, it's hard for you to reverse and go from where your force is going to now me making a move and you being able to. So the hand checking is, and I like hitting people's hands off.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's how you hurt your hands, right?
Exactly. I like doing that.
Move the arc to eliminate corner threes.
No, that one doesn't. I mean, so like the arc stop, like eventually the arc stops. It just goes out of bounds, and the corner is just a shot.
Yeah.
And so the arc more, instead of it going all the way, just go like this almost.
Yeah. I like this one. Allow teams to draw their own 3-point lines. Like baseball stadiums have their own home run walls. You can go out there and you can, based on what your team does, you can draw your own 3-point line.
But it has to be. This has to be this. This is the stand. This has to be at least a standard line.
Yes. But you can have it can come in and have turns and. I like that one. Let's see. Shrink the lane.
Shrink the lane. Let me be honest with you, man. The biggest thing is there has to be this mindset change that the only way that you're a good basketball player is if you make threes. Yeah. We have literally said and made basketball players believe that you're only good if you make threes. And we have people that coach that way, that say that I just want guys that make threes. And it's like, but that is so limiting in the game of basketball to say. And people like, and I hate, this is the biggest thing I hate. Then we move off of it. Is when people go tell me, like, but the Warriors, they were the ones that started. I was like, please go back and look at the statistics for the Golden State Warriors and see that they were a high assist team, they were a high move the ball team, and they were one of the best defensive teams in the association. That's what made them win basketball games. Not just that they sat out there and shot threes. And here's the other thing. They had two of the greatest shooters shooting the threes is why they shot them.
Right.
Steph Curry and Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
And then they added Durant for a little while.
That's pretty good.
Who is still one of your greatest scorers, but is more of a mid-range shooter than a three-point shooter.
Is it really 9:40? Wow. That time flew.
People love talking Grizzlies, man.
Enjoy talking to the people today.
Man, listen, we can talk Grizzlies all day.
A couple of toasts before we get out of here.
All right.
Charlie Woods, hole in one. That was kind of neat.
Yes.
Charlie Woods. Shout out Charlie Woods.
I'm gonna shout out Bernard Longer. How you just out? Just out there still kicking all these people's ass. But I'm telling you this much. You gotta move his tee back a little bit. Yeah. I know he's 67. But God, dog, he was playing a whole different course.
I'm going to give a toast to Zebo and Tony as well. TA, Tony Allen, Zach Randolph. My drive to St. Louis, I listened to their podcast, Out the Mud. I listened to like 7 episodes. And it's really entertaining. It's great stuff. Enjoy listening to TA and Zebo. The best part was when TA started his car because his jeans were too tight.
Come on, TA. Come on, bro. We still like we gotta merge the old and the new. We can't go all the way to their side.
Yeah.
We gotta be in the middle.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us here on this edition of Night Court, our first ever live edition of Night Court. We thank you for chiming in and asking questions. That was fun. We'll do it again, and we'll give you even more notice next time.
Yeah, we'll have the correct links and everything to put up when we do it.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll be better. I can tell you this much: if you're relying on me to do something on the social media side and be correct, you're relying on the wrong person.
Yeah.
So you better get it right.
Well, I didn't either.
Kenny better get it right when he gives it to us. So when we put it up there, that is right. So we putting this one on Kenny.
Yeah.
We gave Kenny a toast last week. Now we blaming Kenny the next week. That's the setup right there.
That's right. Damn it, Kenny.
So if you get a toast one week, just know the next week we might be on your ass.
Yeah, it's not a safety thing. No.
I got lazy, man.
Oh, all good, all good. Kenny, thank you for the setup today.
Yeah, no,
and,
thanks, Kenny.
getting this to happen. That
Yeah.
was fun. We'll do it again real soon as well. I guess next week we'll probably do the show from Phoenix.
Definitely getting us a setup in Phoenix somewhere.
Yeah, we'll have somewhere nice in Phoenix. It'll be good. So we'll do that next week, and I guess that's it for us. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Night Court. We really appreciate it. You can catch us on Twitter at the Fish Nation and at Brevin Knight 22. For BK, I'm Fish. We'll talk to you again next week, right here on Night Court.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Night Court podcast. If you enjoyed Rob and Brevin, hit that like button, subscribe to the Bluff City Media YouTube channel, and enjoy the content. We will see you back here next time.